Hello, English learners. Welcome back to another great episode of our podcast. I am Jennifer, and as always, we are here to help you improve your English while we explore interesting and relevant topics.
And I am Elizabeth. That is right, Jennifer. Today's topic is one that is particularly relevant in today's digital age, and it is something that affects how people view and engage with their leaders. We are going to discuss whether it is necessary for a political leader to be active on social media.
Yes, this is a really interesting question, Elizabeth, because over the past decade, we have seen a major shift in how political leaders communicate with the public. Social media platforms like Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and even TikTok have become key tools for political leaders around the world to share their messages, respond to current events, and engage with voters directly.
Exactly. Social media allows political leaders to reach millions of people instantly, bypassing traditional media outlets like television and newspapers. But the big question we are exploring today is whether it is really necessary for political leaders to be active on social media. Does being on social media help them be better leaders, or can it sometimes create more problems than it solves?
That is the question, Elizabeth. And as always, we will explore both sides of this debate, looking at the benefits and potential drawbacks of political leaders using social media. Along the way, we will also introduce some useful vocabulary and phrases to help our listeners improve their English.
Yes, today's topic is a great opportunity to practice talking about social media and politics in English, so let us get started. Jennifer, why do you think so many political leaders are active on social media these days?
Well, I think one of the main reasons is that social media gives political leaders a direct line of communication with the public. In the past, if a leader wanted to make an announcement, they would have to rely on traditional media like television, radio, or newspapers. But now, with social media, they can speak directly to their followers, often in real time. This gives them more control over their message and allows them to respond quickly to events as they happen.
That is a great point. Social media allows political leaders to reach people instantly, and they do not have to rely on journalists or news outlets to get their message out. They can post directly to platforms like Twitter or Facebook and communicate their views to millions of people.
Exactly. And another reason why political leaders might want to be active on social media is that it allows them to engage with the public in a way that was not possible before. Social media is not just a one-way communication tool. It allows for interaction. Leaders can respond to comments, answer questions, and even debate with their critics online. This can help them connect with voters and build a more personal relationship with the public.
Yes, that is one of the big advantages of social media. It makes political leaders more accessible. In the past, it was difficult for ordinary people to communicate directly with their leaders, but now with social media, anyone can tweet at a president or prime minister and potentially get a response. This level of interaction can make leaders seem more relatable and human.
That is so true. And in today's political climate, being relatable and approachable is more important than ever. People want to feel like their leaders understand them and are listening to their concerns. Social media can help political leaders show that they are in touch with the needs and concerns of ordinary citizens.
Exactly. And this brings us to another important point. Social media can be a powerful tool for political leaders to build their personal brand. In many ways, a politician's success is tied to their image and how they are perceived by the public. By being active on social media, leaders can shape their image, share their values, and create a narrative about who they are and what they stand for.
That is such a good point, Elizabeth. Social media allows political leaders to craft their public persona in a very intentional way. They can post photos, videos, and updates that highlight their achievements, share personal stories, and connect with their audience on an emotional level. This can help them build trust and loyalty among their followers.
Yes, and we have seen this in many political campaigns around the world. Some political leaders have used social media to great effect, building huge followings and using platforms like Twitter or Instagram to energize their supporters and get their message out. It has become a key part of modern political strategy.
Absolutely. But while there are many benefits to political leaders being active on social media, there are also some potential downsides. For one thing, social media can be a double-edged sword. While it allows leaders to connect directly with the public, it also opens them up to criticism, controversy, and even misinformation.
That is a very good point, Jennifer. Social media can be a tough environment for political leaders, especially when they are faced with online trolls, negative comments, or even deliberate attacks from their political opponents. And once something is posted online, it can spread very quickly, whether it is true or not.
Exactly.
This is one of the biggest risks of being active on social media. Leaders can face backlash for things they post, and in some cases, a single tweet or comment can lead to a political scandal. There is also the risk of spreading misinformation, either accidentally or deliberately, which can damage a leader's reputation and cause confusion among the public.
Yes, and misinformation is a major concern in today's digital age. Social media makes it easy for false information to spread quickly, and this can create serious problems for political leaders. They need to be very careful about what they post and how they respond to events because a single mistake can have far-reaching consequences.
That is right. And another challenge for political leaders on social media is that it can be very time-consuming. To maintain an active presence on platforms like Twitter or Facebook, leaders need to post regularly, respond to comments, and stay engaged with their audience. This can take up a lot of time and energy, which could be better spent on other important tasks.
Yes, managing a social media presence can be like a full-time job, and many political leaders hire teams to help them manage their accounts. But even with a team, the leader still needs to be involved, and this can be a distraction from other responsibilities.
That is a great point. And this raises the question, is it really necessary for political leaders to be active on social media? While there are clear benefits, as we have discussed, it is also possible to argue that social media might not be essential for every leader. Some might prefer to focus on more traditional forms of communication, like speeches, interviews, and press conferences.
Yes, that is a good question. There are many political leaders who are not very active on social media, yet they are still successful. For some, staying off social media might even be a strategic choice. They might feel that being too active online could lead to unnecessary controversy, or that they can reach their audience more effectively through other means.
Exactly.
And this brings us to another important point. Social media is not the only way to connect with voters. While it is a powerful tool, it is not the only tool in a political leader's communication toolbox. Traditional media, such as television, radio, and newspapers, still play a significant role in shaping public opinion, especially for older voters who may not be as active on social media.
That is true. Not everyone uses social media, and some people prefer more traditional forms of communication. For example, older voters may be more likely to watch a political debate on television or read an interview in a newspaper than to follow a politician on Twitter. So, it is important for political leaders to reach people through a variety of channels, not just social media.
Yes, that is a very good point. And in some cases, being less active on social media can actually help a political leader maintain a more formal and dignified image. Social media can sometimes feel very informal, and some leaders may prefer to maintain a more traditional or authoritative presence by staying away from platforms like Twitter or Instagram.
That is a great point, Jennifer. Some leaders may feel that engaging too much on social media can make them appear less serious or less professional. They may prefer to communicate through more formal channels, where they can control their image and message more carefully.
Exactly. So, while social media can be a valuable tool for political leaders, it is not necessarily the best option for everyone. Different leaders may have different strategies based on their goals, their audience, and their personal style.
That is right. And this brings us back to our original question. Is it necessary for a political leader to be active on social media? Based on what we have discussed today, it seems that the answer is not so straightforward. For some leaders, social media can be a powerful and effective way to communicate with the public, but for others, it may not be necessary or even helpful.
Yes, I agree. It really depends on the leader, the context, and the goals they are trying to achieve. Some leaders thrive on social media and use it to great effect, while others may prefer to focus on more traditional forms of communication.
Exactly. And it is also important to remember that social media is just one tool among many. Political leaders need to find the right balance between being accessible and transparent, while also maintaining their professionalism and focusing on their responsibilities.
Yes, that is a key takeaway from today's discussion. Social media can be a powerful way for political leaders to engage with the public, but it also comes with risks and challenges. Whether or not it is necessary for a leader to be active on social media depends on many factors, including their personal style, their audience, and the specific political environment they are operating in.
Absolutely. And as we have seen, there are both advantages and disadvantages to political leaders using social media. Can help them connect with voters, shape their image, and respond to events in real time, but it can also lead to controversy, misinformation, and even distraction.
Yes, and it is important for political leaders to weigh these factors carefully when deciding how to approach social media. There is no one-size-fits-all answer to this question, and what works for one leader might not work for another.
Exactly. So, as we wrap up today's episode, we hope that you have gained some valuable insights into the role of social media in modern politics, and that you have also learned some new vocabulary and phrases to help you talk about this topic in English.
Yes, we have covered a lot of ground today, from the benefits of social media for political leaders to the potential challenges and risks. We hope you have found this discussion both interesting and helpful for improving your English skills.
Thank you so much for joining us today. And as always, we encourage you to practice using the new vocabulary and ideas from today's episode in your own conversations. Whether you are discussing politics, social media, or any other topic, the key to improving your English is to keep practicing.
Absolutely. So, until next time, keep practicing your English, stay curious, and we will see you in the next episode.
Goodbye, everyone.